Hi, my name is Arizona Baskin, and this is my video post for the 30 Days on Minimum Wage video that we watched in class and that was also available on Netflix. This is for the SWU171 with Professor Sherry Ebanks Gabriel. So the first question is, what insight have you gained concerning the issue of the working poor? I said I gained the understanding of what living like that is actually like. I really had no idea beforehand, but the video made it very clear how hard it truly was. I've been thinking about the gap between the homeless and the middle class for quite a while now. It bothers me that there are gaps in services that people need to make it in life. I'm grateful that the minimum wage has been increased, though that will not fix everything because money doesn't solve everything, of course. There are more issues to be hashed out, such as medical costs, which is a big thing they touched on in the video about how they both had medical costs that they couldn't exactly repay at the end of the 30 days. Or at least it would take them 3 months to pay those off if they continued on the same lifestyle. What issues did you learn that would be added to the situation when children are involved? I said that their children are ultimately dependent on others and require care. That means extra costs, which means extra stress, and hence the issues, arguments, and I guess stress that they experienced. Childcare is insanely expensive, and feeding, schooling, and clothing children is even more expensive. Extra costs, extra effort, extra stress. Would it be more difficult with or without them? I said undeniably be easier without children, although that's mostly because supporting one or two adults on one income, on the pair of incomes that they had, which equated to about, what was it? I think $330 a week, is easier than 3 or 4 on that same amount of money. They're an added difficulty financially, but they seemed to enjoy the company of those kids despite the stress and monetary costs. Monetary and emotional benefit. The monetary cost and the emotional benefit must be weighed against each other. If I or someone I knew were in the situation, what advice would I have or action would I take to make the situation better? I would say that there are a plethora of resources in Phoenix, but going down to the homeless shelter, CASS would be my first suggestion. There's a lot of services down there that not many people tend to know about unless you've been down there. A lot of people that go down there usually get SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSI, Social Security Insurance usual, or workers' compensation, unemployment, etc. There's a wide variety of monetary assistance. There is a wide variety of monetary assistance available down there, as well as non-monetary. I would say then go and apply for jobs. Goodwill is a good example of somewhere you can do it relatively quick. They have kiosks in every store that list jobs for almost every store in the valley, so it doesn't matter which one you go to, you can apply to all of them in the valley, or online, which if you want to get online access, I would go to the hospital, the library. I go to the library. And then in terms of housing, there's there's a respectable housing department down there at CASS, which works with getting people into Section 8 housing, which is cheap and subsidized, and it definitely changes people's lives. I mean, having a house and having a place to live makes a big difference. There are quite a number of resources available at CASS and in the downtown area. Phoenix World Outreach, St. Mary's Food Bank, and St. Joseph the Worker Foundation are several charities in that area, and also on the CASS campus. Also, some of them have caseworkers and social workers that have the needed training to assist in this situation. What are my thoughts on the working poor population, and what do you think can be done to provide some relief to their struggle? I think we have a long way we've gone a long way in helping that particular gap in society, but I do think that more can and should be done. I think that one of the biggest issues is information and its distribution. I think that not everyone seeks help because they simply don't know about what is out there. Getting the information to translate into action is even harder, too. We see that all the time in the free legal clinic that my mom and I run downtown at Cass. We'll promote it to others at the homeless shelter, and if they're high functioning and motivated, they will come take advantage of the services. Otherwise, they may not because they have either too much going on, like doctor's appointments, things like that, or they forgot, or they stopped taking their meds, which is a big problem down there because a lot of the issues with homelessness in the country, and especially down at Cass, have to do with mental illness and addiction. I'm not saying that one's bigger than the other, they're just factors. Mental health is one of the paramount challenges at Cass, but even through the fog of seeming impairment, quote unquote, you can almost always have a coherent conversation with the people down there. You have to learn to trust them, and they have to learn to trust you. Everyone's tests each other. It's a process because the people down there are used to seeing people blow in, blow out, no commitment, no lasting effort, and so they learn to not trust anyone. And they don't trust anyone either, just because that's the mentality of the street. But I'm not saying everyone down there is on the street either. I'm trying. PC. Okay. I think that's all I have to say. We've come a long way. There's more to be done. Go down to Cass. Repeat, go down to Cass. And I also think there are a lot of services in Phoenix that people don't know about just because they're so localized or by word of mouth, or they're in disparate corners of Phoenix too. That's another issue, is transportation. I mean, the light rail has reduced fares sometimes for those that are under 18 or older than 50, I think. There's a senior discount and a student discount. And then ASU also has the U passes, which are reduced fare. And then Cass used to give out bus passes as well, which was a big help to those down there that need to get around, to get to services, to get to go just apply for jobs, things like that. But I think the biggest centralized area of resources is down at Cass, downtown. The issue then becomes getting the people that need the services down to Cass, whether that's through their own commitment or through their own efforts or through providing a service of transportation to get down there, whether it's just by simply putting people in your vehicle and driving them down there. There's really no other better place to get resources than down at Cass. At least that I know of.